It's another impromptu live session that I didn't plan on doing. I have nothing in particular to talk about, just gonna start talking. Who's in the house? Well, you guys got me for, I don't know, I think I'll do like, well, you have me until my camera dies, because it's not charged. I don't have very much charge on it anyway, so when I was just saying, I wasn't planning on going live Western Mass, so my phone doesn't have very much charge. And that's what I record with, so you have me until the phone dies. What's going on with you, brother? Were you over in AJ's chat a minute ago? Western Mass in the house. Do I love the new name? I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I just switched some shit up. I changed my name. If you go on my channel, like you'll see, I just got more legit. I have like an actual noticeable logo now. I have like a banner. I have an introduction, an intro, and an outro on my videos. So the last week I haven't been going live or posting a lot of videos. I've just been trying to like upgrade the channel a little bit and make it a little more professional. The next thing I got to do is get a better mic than this lav mic. I'm going to get like an actual desk mic now that I have a desk. And work on my lighting a little bit. The biggest thing is just time, dude, with work and training and a family. You know, it's so hard, but I'm just going to keep plugging along. Find my little niche. How about you? Do you like the name? It's kind of an inside joke thing. The jackal and the jackalope. It's fitting. It's like an inside joke, but I don't know. There was another guy named Spartacus, like MMA and sports or some shit, who also uploads videos about MMA. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll switch it up. I don't know Rigo. Who's Rigo? What's his YouTube channel? Yeah, I was just in AJ's and he's like all fired up about his girlfriend fighting with some guy in school. He's young, dude. He's definitely in his 20s. He's gonna beat up some guy in like medical school for his old like. Now, some dude would literally have to like smack my wife in the store. If my wife started arguing with some guy right now, I'd probably be like, she was probably being a bitch. Like, sorry, bro. I'm like, I don't know. The thought of me like wanting to fight somebody because my wife was arguing with him is. But 10, 15 years ago, if I was 23 or whatever, I'm sure I'd be like, what the fuck? Fuck those dudes. I'm gonna fuck them up. You don't like the new name. I gotcha, but whatever. Well, now I can't go back. And like I said, I didn't want to deal with like, I probably could have kept the old name, but I didn't want to deal with like another Spartacus in the same thing. But it'll grow on you. You have no choice. I'm keeping the name. My symbol is a jackalope. Like I said, it's like an inside thing with me and my wife. So, but I don't know. I'm doing big things. I'm just trying to, like I said, be more professional with the channel. Like I said, with the banner, and I'm gonna start getting like social medias that are directed towards my channel and like clipping some of my videos, editing them, making better videos. Because I'm not in like the bet prediction genre. That's not really my bag, you know? Like, I barely bet on, I mean, I do bet on every card, but it's like piddly. I'm not like Paku, who fucking spends 40, 50 hours a week, or like AJ, where he has, analyzes all the fights. I love like the technical aspect of MMA, you know? I'd much rather like break down the technical aspects of a fight and like, oh, who was fighting last week where the dude caught him in he had him in jiu-jitsu what we call a dilemma. He had him in a dilemma between an omoplata and the triangle. If the guy went to his right, he was going to get omoplated and swept and end up in side control. You're probably not going to finish an omoplata in jiu-jitsu in MMA. Or if he went back left, the guy threw up a triangle. It was like the perfect dilemma. It was beautiful jiu-jitsu, and he finished the triangle off his back. I have it in my notes here. I forget the guy's fucking name. Edgar Chairez versus Daniel Lacerda. That was it. Lacerda was stuck. He was in what we call a dilemma, and it didn't work out for him. Western Massive Man, I know too many channels. If you want the link, you can mod me, but I literally have more active wrenches than I can remember. Yeah, I mean, I'll start modding people, but like I said, I get like 16 people on a good night, and all 16 of them are cool. The second I have an issue, I'm going to have to mod some of you dudes. But at this point, everyone's cool. Gabriel Meyer said, these are the questions that people need answers to. Let me know. I will answer any question you fucking got, bro. Well, yeah, if to the best of my ability. Western Mass says, I don't mind the new name. Maybe we can come up with something more solid before the channel takes off. I don't know, dude. I like the MMA Jackal. I fucking like it. Western Mass hates it. I would hate to have to fucking change my name again. Oh, Jay, what's up, broski? Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. Is my feed like pausing and shit? Is AJ officially a cuckold? No, he's just young and in love, dude. He's in that infatuation stage. You can tell. He's definitely infatuated with his old lady. Like, they're in that young... I was there. I was in my 20s, You're like, fucking... You could tell he thinks about her all the time. She made him the shirt. It was the best gift he's ever got. He's young and in love. Fucking some dude looks at her sideways. He's ready to throw his fucking life away and kill this guy with his bare hands and go to prison for the rest of his life, fighting in some bar. Fucking, the dumb shit 20-somethings do. AJ's a good dude, man. He's got it together. He's way more put together than I was when I was his age. That's for sure. I'm talking like I'm his fucking dad. So what is the question you need answered, Gabriel Myers? Is that the question about AJ? So what fights are you guys most excited for on this upcoming card? I was fucking pumped for that Raul's fucking Rosas Jr. fight, to be honest with you. Fucking bummer that got canceled. When it got canceled last Saturday, I was like, oh sweet, this would be like the perfect little like add-on to this card we got next week. That's kind of weak, but it's got some solid matchups. It was originally meant to be the Saudi Arabia card, so you'd figure it'd be like more stacked. I don't know why they're not in Saudi Arabia. What the deal is. Did you guys watch the Bellator fucking PFL last Saturday. Like, they have so much potential. They have everything they need to be, like, they don't need to be the, like, they don't need to be as big as the UFC to be successful, you know? Just be something else. Own Friday nights, you know? Call it PFL, get rid of the fucking season. Don't fucking keep PFL and Bellator separate. You don't have that many great fighters, you know, but you have a decent stable. So put both organizations together under one name. Own Friday nights. Don't try to go head to head with the UFC and fucking put your cards on Saturdays and sell pay-per-views and shit. Fuck, like you're not there. Like the WEC, own that little niche. The WEC wasn't trying to be the UFC. They were like, you know what? The UFC doesn't have lightweight classes. We do. We got small guys, and we're not selling pay-per-views. We're on cable network back when cable was a big fucking thing. They had all their fights there, even their championship fights. They didn't try to sell pay-per-views, and they blew up to the point where the UFC was like, wow, this is a real problem. They'd never admit that, but they were. They're like, we need to fucking buy these guys out because they're getting huge. That's what the PFL or Bellator, or whatever the fuck they are now, needs to do. They need to own Friday nights and do something different. Like, okay, you tried a season. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. One of the best parts about being an MMA fan is there is no season. You know, there's no fucking Super Bowl that ends the season and then we got to wait 9 months for it to kick off again. No, we have fights year round. Why fuck with that? Don't try to put a season in these convoluted bullshit fucking point system that nobody understands. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you work for the PFL, you still don't even know how the fucking point system works. Nobody understands that shit. And it doesn't matter anyway, because when Shane Burgos didn't have the points to get in and those other two guys didn't fight hard enough, they just put Shane Burgos in the fucking playoffs anyway. So obviously you don't give a shit about that. Scrap all that bullshit. Put your fights on Friday night. Have them on ESPN Plus, even the championship fights. Let us watch Ngannou, if he ever comes back, and your biggest stars fight without having to buy a pay-per-view, and do it on a night different than the UFC. And you can start to grow. But they're trying to be something they're not. I don't know. It pisses me off because I want another organization to fucking do good, you know? I went on a rant, now I'm way behind on the fucking chat. Way behind on the chat. I got like 7 fucking people in here. Listen to me. Western Mass says, oh, okay, Hat, what up, my brother? What? AJ should be the first openly Christian MMA channel. There are a lot of really Christian MMA fighters. I mean, who was it? Oh, Brian Ortega. He was talking like God fucking hates his opponents. You know? He was like, oh, I sprained my ankle. And I'm like, God, why are you doing this to me? Like, I get it. I'm not hating on anyone for believing in God. I believe in God. I pray. It's whatever. But when they talk, it's like, I get it. You get your strength from the Lord. That's great. But they act like, you know, like God was, like he was fucking rooting against Yair Rodriguez. Like, bro, Jesus doesn't hate Yair Rodriguez, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. I will never buy a PFL pay-per-view, ever. If it was a subscription, I would get it, though. 100%. No one's going to buy a PFL pay-per-view. The fucking, I don't know. And they have a decent stable, you know? Especially if they ever do get Ngannou to come back. They have arguably the best heavyweight in the world. And Patchy Mix has a real argument for being one of the best fighters in his weight class in the entire world. So own Friday nights. Friday night fights with PFL or whatever. And merge the two. Don't try to, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do, but whatever it is, isn't going to fucking work. Not from what I seen Saturday night. Saturday night was just more of the same. More of the same bullshit. It was like watching another Bellator card with pyrotechnics, lackluster fights, and crazy times between each fight. It was like you had to wait 20 minutes. I don't know. It's frustrating for me because I want them to do good. And they have the tools to do it, you know? Instead of implementing a season that nobody wants and nobody asked for, why don't you try a 165-pound weight class? Why don't you try that out? And then maybe you'll get some guys who are at that higher level and they're like, you know what? Like, I could really try and get in the UFC, but fucking cutting to 55 is killing me. And these dudes at 70 are fucking huge. So maybe I'll try that 165 over at PFL. And hey, I could win the tournament and win $1 million. I mean, that's great. They have like, you know, they give their champions $1 million to win. So I don't know where they get their money from, but they seem to have a lot of it. They're not bankrupt yet. Paco said, I'm broke. My 7-week sobriety. Oh. Back on Ripskis. Hopefully my picks and bets will be better. I feel way more locked in watching tape. Well, hey, as long as you're not breaking your sobriety from like hardcore shit, then more power to you, bro. Rip it up and watch some tape. Yeah. Habs like they have punch speed as a stat. Dude, that's so fake. Like, the fuck out of here. Drew, I get it. They're trying to be different. But like, read the room. You know? We don't want a season. Why would we want I get it. They're trying to draw in like regular sports fans that they think they'll like it more if it's only on during the short period because that's what they're used to when they watch football. But like, I don't know. That ain't it, dude. That ain't it. And no one, dude. You would have to put in a study session like Paku before a pay-per-view to try and understand how the points work. And then they just say fuck it anyway and pick Shane Burgos to make it to the playoffs because they like him better than two guys who train together and don't want to fight hard. So your points don't mean anything. I get it. They're like, no, we have this rigid point system and playoffs, so it's really going to be the best of the best. It's not the matchmaker model where it's just a popularity contest. And then they go and make it a popularity contest and put in a guy who lost and didn't deserve to be in there. So fuck everything you just said because you're lying. Gabriel Meyer said the power of God is real in betting. Well, the power of God is real, period. I genuinely believe Patchy Mix would be top 8 in the UFC. I think he'd be top 5. Dude, Patchy Mix is slick as fuck, bro. His jiu-jitsu is world class. World class. If there was like real money in like the 80 cc's, you know, like if there was, he could enter in like 80 cc, IBJJF, no-gi, fucking world-class jiu-jitsu. Paku said, Jesus doesn't hate Yair. Yair hates Yair. He needs to work his takedown defense. Frankie Edgar set the blueprint to beat him. Yeah, Yair needs to like set up his strikes. He just throws these naked. I mean, his kicks are freaking otherworldly. They're amazing. They're just naked. He just throws these crazy naked kicks. I mean, if you get Yair's heel connecting with the side of your head after he just did a 360, you're going out. But you see it coming from a mile away if you're at, the level of Brian Ortega. And Brian Ortega is like that guy. He needs his nose to be bleeding, and he's got to get punched 4 or 5 times, and almost get stopped. Then he starts the fight. Gabriel Meyer said, "You can't tell me the power of God wasn't on Ortega's side." Hey, maybe it was. Maybe Jesus does hate Yair. Yeah. It is, the PFL stuff is a bit corny. Making the refs wear those goofy glasses with like the ref cam and shit and the punch speed. They definitely have a bit of corny. But they also have Uncle Chael and fucking where is he? Fucking Randy Couture. They have like, a legit broadcast. But then they had like all their audio issues. It just felt very Bush League, didn't it? And it was like I get it, it's like champs versus champs, but their top 3, 4 fighters weren't even there, I mean, Olivier Aubin-Mercier retired, so they didn't have him. Patchy Mix wasn't there. Pitbull wasn't fighting. Obviously, Ngannou, the only reason they got him is because they let him box. And, I mean, if his fight with Joshua is even close, if it's even a close fight, he ain't ever fucking coming back to MMA. Why come back to MMA and possibly lose when you can go lose in boxing and make $30 million or whatever the fuck he's making? Like, dude, he had a fight with arguably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and in some people's eyes won the fight. Why would he ever come back to MMA? So other than Western Mass, do all you guys hate my new name? Or just Western Mass? Western Mass said he'd rather be here than Rigo's member stream. Well, I appreciate it. I don't know Rigo, but this is a way cooler place to be. I have a buddy who's a YouTuber. He doesn't do anything with MMA. He has a different kind of channel. And he's been helping me out. And he said I'm too nice. He said I need to be mean. I have some real strong opinions on women's MMA. So I think I'm going to fucking just be meaner. Paku likes the name. Thanks, Paku. I appreciate it. You're not just saying that because you're my buddy, right? Like if I asked my wife, she was like, yeah, I like it. It's a nice name. Western Mass was right off the bat. He's like, oh, you changed your name, huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. I see. Hap said, I can't wait for Umar Bekset. How do you say that? Bekset. Omar Bekset. And I usually don't like Dagestanis, but I really enjoy Umar. Slick striker, and he is a savage, like insane. He's just too small. That's the other thing. They didn't have freaking Magomed, whatever the fuck his name is over at PFL. Magomed. The biggest bantamweights on the roster, strength to mass ratio, are O'Malley, Umar, and Batista. Hap, you know your fucking shit, dude. One of these days, Hap's gonna start his channel and blow us all out of the water. Paku likes the name. Oh yeah, I already seen that. Western Mass, I don't hate your new name. I just thought maybe we could do better. You hate it. The fuck out of here. I don't hate your new name. It's just, you need to change it. Paku would tell me if he didn't like it. John Dong. John Dong. My wife will love your name, John Dong. She wanted me to name my channel Long Duck Dongs MMA. Have you ever noticed whenever you talk about women's MMA being bad, people bring up either Joanna versus Wei Lee or Aiden? Yes, I do notice this, which are the only two good women's MMA fights in the past 4 years. 100%, John. So this is what I say. Listen, I know that there have been good women's MMA fights before. It doesn't mean that women's MMA in general doesn't suck. Just because you can name me 3 fights in all of fucking history that weren't boring doesn't mean that 99% of them aren't fucking snooze fests. The problem with women's MMA is that, I'm sorry, but women are not built like men. And in general, they don't have the ability to hurt each other the way men do. So it's like watching 2 little kids fight. Like, you can let them go balls out because you know they're not going to, send each other to the land of wind and ghosts in 5 seconds. It's the same with women's MMA. Their hardest strikes aren't that hard. Yes, I get it. There are some women who are juiced to the tits on testosterone and have giant fucking biceps and cyborg. You know who I'm fucking talking about. But Kayla, all right, we get it. There are some women who are bigger than others, but in general, most women are not built to fight. They're just not. And it's not enjoyable to watch because you know there's a 95% chance that it's going to go to decision, or one of them's going to do a fucking Ogoshi hip toss to an arm bar, then the other chick is going to be too flexible to get arm barred, so she's going to get out of it, and then she's going to end up on top. It's like the same shit over and over. It's boring. No one wants to watch it. The only people who advocate for women's MMA are elitists and fucking like simps. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I love women's. It's so great. We're all, I don't care that there is women's MMA. Like, that's fine. Whatever. But don't try and pretend like you're gonna. I heard Luke Thomas and the other guy who is on Morning Combat with. They always mention like an all women's card. Like, shut the fuck up. Are you trying not to get people to watch MMA that day? Because if there's ever an all women's card, I would rather watch 2 chickens fight in a fucking box. Like, I get it. There have been 3 good women's fights. Yeah, I was there. I seen Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight. It was fucking great. But the other 300 women's MMA matches that I've watched sucked. So in general, I'm not a fan. Hap said, I appreciate you, bro. I'm considering a channel soon. We're going to collab. Hell yeah, dude. I'm all about collab. My boy Paku started a channel, and I wanted to collab with him, but he was like, nah, bro, I don't want to outshine you. I'm way better looking and smarter, and I got this cool accent, and then no one will watch you ever again. So I appreciate it. He didn't want to collab just yet, but one day. MMA Jackal is on par with most channel names. It's fine, but I feel like we could be more creative. And I have no suggestions. Well, like I said, I was working with my one buddy who has a YouTube channel, not in an MMA space, but it's like a relatively successful channel in like I don't know what you'd call it, prison YouTube. Like, he did a long time in prison. Now he has a YouTube channel talking about it and shit. Anyway, he was like, what you should do is create a community tab and have, the people who are subscribed, like, give them a couple choices and choose from there. But then we started like making the channel. Like, he's super good with this shit, and he was like making a logo and stuff like on the fly. And then he made the logo for the MMA Jackal and the name and all that shit. And I like kind of fell in love with that. I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's what I want. So it just kind of is. I mean, still, bro, I got like fucking 80 subscribers. So if I start hearing a lot like, yo, what the fuck's with the name? It ain't jiving. I could change it. Hap said, I want Dagestanis to strike more like Umar. I feel like they are very athletic, and I want to see more strikers like Shara Bullet. Yeah, or fucking, what's his name? Abraham Lincoln. Oh, it's late. I had a long day. What the fuck's Abraham Lincoln's name? He was an amazing striker, and he's from Dagestan. No. Hate. I'm cool with hate. Just throw me some suggestions. Also, who's the Dagestani Abraham Lincoln? Who am I trying to... He's like the best Dagestani striker there is. John Smith said, it never works out very well for the Jackal. What doesn't work out? No, not Sharapov. Fucking... Oh my god. He's a doctor now. Oh, in the movies. Yeah. Well, I was... If you look at the symbol, it's a jackalope, which is different than a jackal. Very different. And, like, I don't know. It's a whole fucking thing. Maybe one day... But it's like an... If I was like, oh, one day I'll tell you the story of how the... It's just like a stupid thing. My wife thought jackalopes were real, and she didn't believe me for a long time. And then we were at like this fucking outdoor show, and they had this fake jackalope mount, and she was convinced like that was her proof. Zabit Magomed Sharapov. There we go. Why did I read his name after Western Mass wrote it and then was like, no, that's not it? Yes, Zabit. Dude, Dagestanis, everyone's like, oh, Dagestanis, they're wrestlers. They're not. They're fighters, dude. In that part of the world, that's what they love to do. They live in the mountains and they fight. They have a long history of, like, actual fighting, like combat. And they raise their kids to be fighters. And, you know, they do have a long history of wrestling and shit. But boxing and kickboxing, like, all those dudes, they're fucking savages. They don't grow up like no pussy-ass suburban American kids. Like, they're fucking in it. They're running up the hill carrying rocks and shit. I don't know. Wasn't there a movie with the Jackal? Maybe there probably is a movie called The Jackal, and then he probably dies, doesn't he? But wasn't he like an assassin or something? He was like a sniper fucking... Yes, jackals are very cunning. They're like cooler coyotes. It's like a coyote with the brains of a fox. Fucking... Paco, I take it you still didn't get the shirt yet? I checked my Instagram every day to see if I got a picture from you. Oh, shit. The camera's dying, guys. We probably got like, I don't know, 10 more minutes. If we're in here talking and shit and the camera just happens and the live just cuts off, you'll know my camera died. But I'll try to like make an actual ending. Also, if you guys are in here and you like MMA content, I dropped a breakdown of the fucking card this past Saturday, which I'm sure you watched plenty of breakdowns. But I also dropped another one on my thoughts about PFL and some shit they could do, like, to actually make their show worth watching. I think either like later later this week, well, definitely later this week, sometime this week, I'm gonna break down fucking Dustin Poirier versus uh, Benoit Saint Denis. That's gonna be the next video I drop, dude. I am so fucking pumped for that fight. I don't know. This is another one. We're either gonna find out that like this is a big jump. This is the same jump that O'Malley took when he fought Jan. O'Malley went from like 11 to 3, and I think Saint Denis is going from like 12 to 4. You know, it's like the same size task he has in front of him. So after that, I mean, if BDS beats Dustin, he's that contender that everyone's been waiting for. I think he'll get a shot at Islam right off the rip after that. Or we find out that the guys that BDS has been fighting ain't no fucking Dustin Poirier, and he just puts it on him. I mean, Dustin Poirier is a motherfucker. Like, I think we take these guys, you know, like these top 5 guys who've been around for a while, like take them for granted a little bit when we have some guy, you know, cruising up through the ranks just crushing people. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean they can just jump right in. I mean, sometimes they do, you know. Sometimes it's fucking Ilia Topuria and he sends, you know, puts folks' lights out in the second round. Or it's Sean O'Malley and he has a fucking war with Jan that not a lot of people seen coming. Get the fuck out. People are trying to bust into my studio. What the fuck? Can't you see I'm doing something here?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. Beat it. I'm in trouble. Paku said, I watched your video breakdown because it was the premiere. My dumbass thought it was a live chat and I was interacting with it. So all your comments and shit, like it didn't save anything to the actual chat because you're just like commenting live. Like as I know what you mean though, because I'll see. Dave, yeah, did you see that? I was like, she shut the door and I told her to get the fuck out like after she shut the door, but she still heard it through the door and then she came back and now I'm in fucking trouble. But yeah, I do that because it has like the little red fucking premiere thing and you think it's a live video. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I seen your comment. I get very few comments, so when you do see them, that's what's nice about supporting a small channel like this. Like you guys comment and it like makes somebody's day. That's why I've noticed ever since I've had a YouTube now, a smaller channel will pop up and I'll like leave a comment and then I see the guy from the channel likes it. Like probably made that dude's like just now when someone comments in here and I've never seen their name before, I'm like, it's like. Makes me all happy. Makes my fucking day. Poor AJ. What do you guys think about it? Dude, he was all worried about his girl. You're like, yo, we're gonna fuck these dudes up. Poor guy. His girl's probably hot, though. Fucking Indian. Yeah. It would be so nice if O'Malley was a quiet guy. I feel like he would be so much more popular. Like a silent killer. He's so slick, but he's too cringe. He is cringe, but he's not nearly as bad as Triple C. Like Triple C was not funny. At least O'Malley's kind of funny. Like his striking videos where he has a joint in his mouth and he's doing like bullshit on the fucking Bob punching bag thing and he like spins around. Like he's funny. He's funny. Him and his coach. I also like the fact that him and his coach have been together like from day one. Him and that fucking Red Hawk dude, whatever his name was, and they, you know, You see him cornering, like videos of him cornering O'Malley back in the day, and O'Malley looks like he's fucking 12 years old, you know? So they came from the bottom all the way to the championship, from the bottom to the top. They did it together. So I appreciate that. But O'Malley's not my kind of guy. Like, he's not somebody I would chill with. You know what I mean? Marab, on the other hand, I think I could fucking hang out with Marab. I was just watching him on what's his name, Mighty Mouse's channel today, and dude, like, English is like his third language. I think he speaks Georgian and something else, and then English, or maybe just two. But still, think about that. Think about if you were in Georgia and now you got to carry on a conversation on a podcast with somebody. Like, I don't know, for being that funny and not being able to speak the language that well, it's pretty good. Like, what the fuck's his name? Paulo Costa. I think if he could like really fluently speak English, he would be way more popular because he seems like he's funny as fuck. I've nearly finished the graphics for this weekend's UFC card. If you know how to use Google Docs, I might be able to share a copy of it to you. I use it to take notes on my phone and my PC. Share it to me for what? For one, I don't know how to use Google Docs. Like, I'm fucking technologically illiterate slash retarded, but I'm learning. Like, dude, I'm fucking putting in the work on this YouTube shit. Like, I'm a mechanic by trade, and then I do martial arts for fun. And when it comes to technology, it's just never been my bag, but I'm learning. However, Google Docs is not my thing, but what would that do? Just so I would have, like, your picks and thoughts for the fights, you mean? I feel like if you're friends with O'Malley and you were hanging off the edge of a cliff and he saw $10 right next to you, he'd picks up the 10 and let you fall. Fuck yeah, that's why you don't have friends like that. I have 3 friends, bro. 3. And it's like, I mean, I got 3 people I could call at 3 o'clock in the morning when shit goes down. That's really all you need. 3's like the max. Like, it's funny. Like, when you're in high school, you have like 10, 15 friends. And then in college, you have like, you know, your group of like 6 or 8 dudes that are all close. And then when you get older, you got like 3. And then by the time you're an old man, you got 1 if he's not dead. Oh man, it's blinking. You guys are going to lose me. It's going to be a 45-minute live tonight. All right. If nobody else has any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm going to have to bounce. I was ill prepared for tonight. I wasn't going to go live because, well, I don't know if you need to hear the reasoning, but like, usually the times I want to go live is when AJ's live, and the few subscribers I do have are all from his page, so I'm like, I don't try to compete with him. I give it to Pick'em, dude, because he don't give a fuck. He's doing his thing regardless. He's gonna blow up. I guarantee it. Pick'em's gonna have a, you know, he's that dude fucking grinds. He's always on here. I just wish I had more time to have a more consistent presence, but I promise I will upload at least 1 video a week and at least have 1 live a week all the time. If not, it's because there's an issue. Paku said, I import the picture and stats for each fighter on the card. And then I have a template where you can just down notes underneath. Maybe in the future, I'll share it with you. It takes me a lot of time to make. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I would love to check that out. I'd appreciate the fuck out of that if you send it with. So it's Google Docs. If that's what I need to like download and have, The other thing too is I'm still fucking like, I need a laptop is what I need. That's like my next step. I'm working off a tablet that I have set up kind of like a laptop, but obviously doesn't have the computing power. But once I have a laptop, then I can, shit'll be even fucking the next step. Andrew B, what up, Proski? I really appreciate you coming in, man. But I was just telling these guys, I jumped on here impromptu, like I didn't plan on it. And when I did, my phone, which is my camera, which I record from, only had like 20%, and now it has like 5. So keep that in mind. If this feed just goes black the next couple minutes, that's why. Yeah, exactly. Be easier on PC or laptop. That's what I gotta get. I'm a fucking Apple person. That's just what I've always had, or what we have now. So I think I'm just gonna um, bite the bullet and buy a fucking MacBook. John Smith said, "You work on older cars still?" No, no, no. Oh, because I said I'm actually an elevator mechanic. I build elevators. So, oh, here we go. Oh, that's my wife who I just kicked out of the room saying I didn't pay the phone bill. Actually, we did just pay the phone bill. That's why the bank account looked like it did this morning. Don't even fucking get me started. You guys want to see a domestic on my live feed? I'll fucking lay down the law. Ha, just kidding. All right, but really, I gotta fucking bounce. My phone's about to die. John Smith, no, I don't work on older cars. Like I said, I'm an elevator mechanic. I work on elevators. I work on cars when I have to because mine broke down. That's the only time I work on cars. But, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys fucking coming in, supporting. We had fun. It was 47 minutes. You know, it's not nothing. It was a live chat. We chatted. It was live. All right, boys. Yeah, dangerous work. In fact, I just got a notification today. We had another union member died today on the fucking job. I don't know what city he was from. I didn't even open the link yet. But yeah, it's dangerous. I was just out for 3 months because I fucking blew my knee apart. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm bouncing. Keep an eye out. I just dropped the video like tonight. I just dropped it. It was like the PFL Bellator one. So go check that out. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. And then I'll be dropping Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. I changed my name. All right, before I go, Andrew, do you like it? Yes or no? Be honest. I'm taking a poll, and it's a long story. I went over it earlier in the fucking live on why I changed it and all that shit. But this is my new name, the new symbol, the artist formerly known as Spartacus. But all right, boys, have a good one. I'll see you. I don't know. Maybe later this week. But go Bills.